I decided to go to a Brazilian department store to check out its prices. And the store I went to is called Havan, but here in Brazil they pronounce it Havan. And it's a big chain of department stores here in Brazil. It's got over 180 stores and it's in 24 states. And I guess it reminds me a bit of Kohl's in the US. So there's that kind of style. But one difference is that Havan here in Brazil is doing pretty well apparently, with sales increasing and it's constantly opening up new stores, which is a big difference to department stores in the US and Europe, which are struggling and constantly closing down stores. And the store looks pretty nice from the outside and pretty big. So the store that I went to is on the outskirts of Porto Alegre in Canoa. One of the funny things about these stores is a lot of them have a Statue of Liberty in the parking space you can see here. And it's pretty big. And so I googled it to understand why they have that. And apparently it represents economic liberty or economic freedom. And I also read that apparently the stores are built to look similar to the White House, which I guess the stores are white, which is similar to the White House. Other similarities, I'm not too sure. But yeah, apparently that's the reasoning why you've got this massive statue in the car park. But anyway, let's go inside and let's see if we experience this economic freedom. And as you go in, you can see this picture of the guy above the door here. So this is the owner of Havan. His name is Luciano Hang. And he's a bit of a celebrity in Brazil because he appears in a lot of the adverts for Havan, and then there's loads of photos of him on the outside and on the inside of the store as well. And yeah, the store looks quite nice on the inside as well. So you've got tableware and kitchenware on the left here, and then women's clothing on the right here, and then you've got men's clothing further along, and then at the far end you can see some TVs there. So that's the electronics and domestic appliances. And on the far right you've got a toy department. And then on the far left, you've got things for the garden and some tools and a bit of furniture. Yeah, so this place is pretty big. I mean, yeah, the fact that it's open plan makes it feel even bigger, I think. So let's walk to the far end and have a look at the electronics and the domestic appliances first. And you can see I've got lots of fans here and these boxes, some vacuum cleaners. And on the right here, they're selling some bikes and a scooter, I think. So let's check out the prices of these bikes. So you've got adult mountain bikes here for 1,899 reais, which is $350. And then at the far right here, you've got an electric bike, and that is 5,599 reais, which is $1,040. And you can see below that price, there's 10 times 559 reais, and that's the installment plan. So you can pay for this bike in 10 installments. And actually you can pay for most things in the store by installments. And then on the other side you've got some vacuum cleaners. So you've got one here for 249 reais, which is $46. So that's pretty cheap, but it can't be that good. But then next to it you've got more expensive ones. And then they're selling some laptops here as well. So you got this laptop here for 7,999 reais, which is $1,488. So this is a 15-inch Acer gamer notebook. It's got an Intel i7 chip, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of SSD. So it's not a gaming laptop. But yeah, for $1,488, it's not the cheapest. But then to the right you have cheaper laptops. And this one to the far right is 1,999 reais, which is $372, made by some company called Positivo. But yeah, it's pretty basic. And then you've got lots of mobiles here. So you've got Samsung, you've got LG. So this one here is a Galaxy S24 FE, and the cost is 4,399 reais, which is $800, and apparently that's on promotion. And on the other side you've got Motorola phones. So this one here is a Motorola G35. Yeah, it's on promotion here apparently, 1,499 reais, which is $278. And the display on this one actually looks pretty nice. But yeah, again, obviously you can find it cheaper online. Let's have a look at the TVs, and they're selling the Starlink here as well. 1,699 reais for the Starlink, which is $315. And then we've got lots of TVs here. So the big TV here straight ahead is a TCL, which is a Chinese company. It is 75 inches and it costs 4,799 reais, which is $892. And then we've got smaller TVs to the left here. Some of these brands I haven't heard of. Philco, Britannia, Multi. I think those brands are Brazilian. But then you've also got LG and Samsung here as well. Let's have a look at some fridges. And yeah, fridges aren't cheap either. So you've got this fridge here The brand is Consul, which is a Brazilian brand. It's 386 liters, and the price is 3,699 reais, which is $687. So yeah, fridges aren't cheap, that's for sure. And then going along here, you've got even more expensive fridges for over 5,000 reais. This one's Electrolux. And then you've got stainless steel fridges, which I think are usually a bit more than the white fridges. Let's have a look what else there is. And then you've got washing machines here. And yeah, I'm not used to washing machines looking like this, where you load them from the top. I'm used to washing machines which are front loaded. So let's have a look. So this one in front of me here is 2,299 reais, which is $427. So I guess that's a reasonable price for a washing machine. Over here you've got the front loading washing machines that I'm used to. Yeah, they are definitely more expensive. So this one here is 4,499 reais, the LG one, which is $836. So it seems like the front loading ones are more expensive than the top loading ones. Oh, but this is a combined washer dryer. Okay, so that makes sense why it's more expensive. And then over here, I have no idea what these are. What are these? Oh, so centrifuge. Centrifuge. So they're spin dryers. Okay, so you put the clothes in here and it just spins it dry. But with these tiny ones, you can't put a lot of clothes in there. That's for sure. And these are pretty cheap, 679 reais, which is $126. I guess it's a cheap alternative to buying a tumble dryer. And now we're kind of in the tools section here. So you've got some drills and other tools here. And a bit further along here, well, here's one thing to check out, which I've only seen in Brazil, and that is electric hot water taps. So if you don't have a hot water system in the house, so no boiler to heat the hot water, then what you do is you install these taps in the bathroom and the kitchen, and they heat the water for you. So yeah, I've seen some houses with these taps. And then also what those houses also need to have are electric showers in order to heat the water for the showers as well. So you got this one here for 199 reais, which is $37. And this one actually looks pretty good. But then there are a lot more simpler ones as well. So let's go and see if we can find a really simple shower that some people have in their homes, which I find a bit scary. Here you got the really simple showers. So what you have is you have a pipe sticking out from the wall, and then you just attach these shower heads to the pipe, and then that gives you a hot shower. And this costs 79 reais, which is $14. And they're perfectly safe as long as a good electrician connects it and protects the cables, because now and again I've seen these showers being installed and you can see the cables sticking out, and I get pretty scared about getting electrocuted. And you've got a barbecue area here, which here in the south of Brazil is very important. You've got also grilling skewers here, so Brazilians put their big pieces of beef on here and put it in the barbecue. I mean, I personally don't use these skewers. What I use are these grills. This one here, this is what I've got in my barbecue. I just find it a lot easier to use this grill here rather than the skewers. So you just put it straight into the barbecue like that. And you've got lots of other utensils for the barbecues, so the knives and the cutting boards and the spatulas. So you can see here the barbecue section is pretty big. And here they've got some barbecues as well. I'm not sure who buys these, because every Brazilian I've met here in the south of Brazil have their own barbecues, which they've built out of bricks in the garage or in an area in the garden. So it's not like in the States or in Europe where you have these types of barbecues. Now here they like to build their barbecues out of bricks, and it's always charcoal. I've never seen anyone use a gas barbecue here in Brazil. And then they sell some air conditioning units here as well. So you've got one here which is a Philco 9000 BTU for 2,799 reais, which is $520. And then you've got some other brands as well. So you've got a Samsung one, Gree as well. But yeah, not that many air conditioning units. I was expecting a bigger section, but man, they've got a lot of fans. Look at all these fans that they're selling. Let's go over to the other side just to see what they've got there. Oh yeah, so they've got lots of pressure cookers. So this amount of pressure cookers you definitely don't see in Europe, that's for sure. So yeah, I think every Brazilian has a pressure cooker to cook their beans. And I think they use it for other things as well, to make soups, and I think they cook some meats as well. But yeah, that's definitely something every Brazilian needs to have. And then with the beans, Brazilians like to eat rice. And on the other side here, you've got rice cookers, which again is pretty common, but not as common as the pressure cookers. Let's just have a quick walk through the toy department. So it's pretty nice how they've kind of decorated each section differently. So yeah, it looks pretty nice inside the store. And you've got even more fans. Man, they expect to sell a lot of fans over the next couple of weeks, I think. And after the toy section, you've got a baby section as well, with strollers and car seats and baby clothes. And now we're in the clothes section. So you've got children's clothes here. So let's just have a quick look. So a girl's t-shirt here, $49.99, which is $9, which I guess is pretty good value for money. But on the other side, you've got clothes for $39.99, which is $7. So yeah, the children's clothing is pretty reasonable. Let's have a look at clothes for adults. So you've got a men's section here. So you've got men's t-shirts for $39.99, which is $7. But I think these are Havan's own brand, I think. And you've got shorts for $79.99, which is $15. So yeah, the clothes are pretty reasonable, I think. But I haven't got much branded clothing here, I think. So the only thing I found was this small section here where you've got some Fila shorts and t-shirts. You can buy this Fila t-shirt for 119 reais, which is $22. And some Fila shorts for 99 reais, which is $18. And then next to it you've got some Umbro t-shirts and shorts as well. And then you've got some NBA clothing as well, some t-shirts and shorts. But those are the only brands that I recognize. So I assume a lot of it is Havan own labels. And let's have a look at the home section. So here you've got even more pressure cookers. So these are on electric. So these you put on the stove to heat. So yeah, what I've seen so far, they're selling a lot of fans and a lot of pressure cookers. And then lots of tableware, lots of glasses and cups. So you can see you can buy 6 glasses for $49.99. And next to it you've got even cheaper. So you've got 6 glasses for $29.99. And then lots of tableware and cutlery, plates. But one thing I want to show you in this store are all the food storage containers, which Brazilians call potinhos. I mean, I don't know if it's like this in the whole of Brazil, but the Brazilians I've met, they love to store leftover food in the fridge in small pots, which I do as well, just not to the same extent. So if I go to my wife's family's house, for example, who are Brazilian, their fridge is packed full of small pots. And so all these pots you can see around here. And here we've got linens and duvets. And this is another cultural difference. So Brazilians, they love to buy these duvets, but they don't use duvet covers. So they just sleep under these duvets and then they have to wash the whole duvet rather than just change the cover around the duvet, which I personally don't understand. Because it's a lot more difficult to wash a whole duvet than just a duvet cover. I hear they've got a little display here, so here I can show you what I mean. So they just put one of these thick duvets over the bed, but there's no duvet cover or anything. So then they have to wash this whole duvet, which for most people I think doesn't fit in their washing machine. So then you have to take it to a laundromat or a dry cleaners or something for them to wash it. But that seems like most Brazilians do it that way. Okay, so that was a tour of the Havan store. So overall, I think it's a really nice store. I think the layout is really nice inside. And what I would say is that definitely the electronics, domestic appliances, you can find those cheaper online. But even saying that, here in Brazil, the prices for these things are a lot higher than in the States and Europe, that's for sure. But then other things like the clothing and the kitchenware and tableware, there's a lot of nice good stuff there, and it's pretty reasonably priced as well. So that was a nice surprise. So I hope you liked this video. Please leave a like, subscribe if you've got any questions or anything, leave it in the commentary below. So thanks for watching, until next time.